What is up, guys? Hassan Malik back here again. And today I have something pretty different for all of you. We are going to be taking a look at my custom Robert Pattinson Batman minifigure from the new 2021 Batman movie. But before we do that, I did want to remind you guys that the giveaway for $100 worth of any LEGO sets on the LEGO store is still going on. I know it shows Star Wars on the thumbnail here, but it can be any sets from any theme, so make sure to click on the card above or head over to that video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment on that video to automatically be entered. Make sure you leave a comment on that video though, not this one. Okay, back to the video. I wanted to spend the first part of this video just giving my thoughts on the trailer and film as a whole, then I'll get into the figure and talk about how I went about making it and why I did what I did. I'll leave a timestamp in the video so you can head right over to the minifigure if you'd like. So a couple days ago, DC and Warner Bros. Put out the first teaser trailer for the new Matt Reeves directed Batman movie, which is set to release in 2021. And wow, that trailer was amazing. After all the rumors and earlier teaser images, we all knew this interpretation would be very grounded and dark, and originally that was something that didn't sit too well with me. I didn't like the look of the Batmobile or the first look at the suit that was released a while ago. But seeing this trailer and listening to the director, Matt Reeves, speak about this movie really changed my mind. Everything from the suit's design and the way he fights feels so much more real. The suit's design looks very incomplete to me, especially with those boots we see in the beginning of the trailer that you wouldn't typically see on Batman, but that is perfect since it really shows just how new to this he really is. Also, the black paint around his eyes actually being there when he takes off the cowl is another great touch. The one fight sequence we got to see looked great. It felt very aggressive and raw, as if every punch he was throwing was from his built-up hatred within him. I really like that this is a much younger Batman who is still in the process of establishing himself as the protector of Gotham, and that kind of sounds like an origin story, very similar to Batman Begins. But this will be set a year after he has already become Batman, so hopefully that means they don't spend too much time on the literal process of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman and spend more time on how he establishes himself as the Batman. It looks like the Riddler will be our main villain in this film, and he feels like a deranged serial killer that could actually exist in the real world, far less theatrical and a lot more real. Everything in this trailer just really felt like it was trying to be as realistic of an interpretation of the Batman while still staying true to the character, and I absolutely loved that. And probably the craziest thing about all of this is that they've only shot 25% of the movie, so if 25% looked that great, then I can't wait to see what the completed film will be like. Overall, I'm very excited for this movie. I was mainly excited to see a Justice League trailer at the DC Fandom event, but this definitely stole the show for me. Make sure to let me know what you guys thought about the trailer and the event as a whole down in the comments below. Okay, enough about the actual movie, let's finally get into this figure. As some of you probably know, I really enjoy making custom LEGO minifigures in Photoshop, which I've been using in thumbnails for quite some time, and am now finally making dedicated videos for. And after seeing that trailer, I knew I just had to give this a shot. Now, I am by no means a professional, so my edits may look a little rough, but critiques and comments are very much appreciated as usual. When it came to actually making the figure, I had a lot of trouble actually finding a good image where I could see all the details of the new suit. That image of the suit you saw on the thumbnail and the title card is some really great fan art by Jackson W, and while it is great, it's technically not the most accurate thing. And unfortunately, since the trailer is quite dark and pretty short, we don't get too many good looks at Batman's suit, which in turn means I did have to do quite a bit of guesswork and fill in some of the details on my own. Even with that obstacle, I still think I was generally able to capture the look of the figure pretty well. So the base of this figure is actually the Arkham Knight Batman minifigure from the RC Batmobile, which came out a few years ago. And fun fact, that minifigure actually happens to be my favorite Batman minifigure ever made. I started with this since I thought the armor around the chest did the best job of resembling the film version, and that chest area is the major part of the minifigure that really needed to work to get the look of the figure across. Since his cowl is quite rounded, I did decide to go with the New 52/Batfleck short ears cowl, which I then manipulated to extend the ears outward and upward to make them more pointy. After that, I added in the actual eyes to capture that same realistic feel from the movie with the dark gray around the eye prints so they wouldn't blend too into the cowl. I know they technically should be black, but that just wouldn't work on a LEGO minifigure since the eyes and mask would all look like one piece. I think using gray around the eyes instead of black was a good enough solution to that issue. The skin printing for the mouth did have to be lightened though, since the printing flesh onto black usually doesn't look too good. And after that, I got to work on the torso by adding in the new chest logo and adding the armor plates for the abs as well. I didn't have a good source image to use for his belt or legs, so I kind of had to put my own spin on it, which I imagined being quite dark to match the rest of the look instead of the gold that we're used to. I also had pretty much no good image to use for his legs, so I kind of just stuck with the Arkham version and recolored it. After that, I added some shoulder printing to his arms and printing on the wrist for what I think are arrows or darts. I'm not entirely sure what they are, but his gauntlets do have a bunch of rods lined up next to each other, so to implement that, I went with the new Avengers video game Black Widow's wrist printing and recolored it to fit this fig. I like to use printing from official LEGO minifigures whenever I can to give these customs a more authentic feel. During all of these changes, all the parts were changed to use a dark gray and an even darker gray color scheme to match the movie's color. I wanted everything to look very dark and almost mesh together just like it does in the trailer. It really makes Batman look like a shadow. And the final change was to change up the cape and fix up the lighting where needed. But yeah, that was the process in making this very overly detailed minifigure. So looking back at the original base figure we started with, this custom 2021 Batman looks very different. I always love looking back at the base figure and seeing just how much it had to change. Obviously, LEGO could not do something like this in their actual sets, but if they were to ever make a set based on the new movie, I'd hope the figure looks something like this. Which I am very curious to see if they'll actually do, considering how dark this movie is looking. But who knows, LEGO is trying to target adult audiences now, maybe they'll start using that strategy in DC as well. Overall, I'm very happy with the way this figure turned out, and I had a really great time making it as well. Make sure to let me know what you think about this figure and the movie down in the comments below. But that is pretty much going to do it for this edit. Let me know what minifigures you'd like to see me make next. I am working on some Gotham Knights figures and a Star Wars collectible minifigure series, so if you'd be interested in seeing those, make sure to subscribe to see them as soon as they're released. And if you enjoyed watching, make sure to leave a like on the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.